all we have there is 12. But you are not attaching the band to this. You are, at first it might look like that, but that's what I actually thought. But you're attaching it to the cup, which I am going to recreate now. I'm going to recreate this cup now with the white fabric. So hold on while I do that, and then I'll show you how to attach those two bands on the bust, on the cup rather. I'm about to show you another method for cutting the cup part of your corset. I don't want lines at all for this one, so I am going to map this out first. I'm adding half an inch, but still following this pattern. This is the center. Mark the center here. Now I'm going to take this, cut through to the bust point. This is where the bust point is on this line. So I'm going to cut through. A little past the bust point, like this. Then I'm going to take this one, please let me off the fan. I'm like, I need to spread it out by about 1.5 inch. Okay, that's 1.5. I'm using 1.5 because the provision I made was for 2 inches. So I'm taking half out, like this. Marking the pathway and taking note of where I stopped. Taking note of where I stopped. And now I am going to relax it. I take this one, this is like this, and complete the line. Take this still, place it like this, and complete the line. And then I'm going to mark where this stops. So I'm coming back to the center again, and I'm going to mark where this one stopped. This is where it stopped. Now cut. Doing this to be sure we still have the same width here. Now I'm going to do my dart here. It's noticing that this side is smaller by about half an inch, so it will naturally curve back, and then we have this ringing out the bust. This is the inner corner, so this is the one that's going to face in here. I'm going to join it now and come back and show you. Okay, so this is what it will look like now, because if you noticed, this place was shorter than what we had in our original pattern. It naturally curve this back on the person's body because it's smaller, so it will curve back. But if it doesn't curve back enough and you still want it to hug the person's body more, you can come to this corner and shift out as much as you need. For this one, I realized I only needed to shift it out by half. You can shift it out by more, just about between 1.5 inch from the top. You shift it out. That will automatically reduce this top part so that it falls on the person's body. I don't know if you get what I mean. Let me explain again. If you notice, when I did this pattern, it was wider. This was wider than this when I was done. Can you see? The reason why that is because if we were doing it the regular way, we would have curved this back by about a few inches so that it relaxes on the person's bust. But we didn't do that. So since we are not doing that, how we made provision for that was to make this one shorter. And even then, after I was done, it was still not short enough. So I took some extra out just from the top part here, like this. So that's it. Then for the bands that I wear around, you're basically going to measure. Take your measurements, measure from here like this for the first one. Then the second one is going a bit higher. So for this one, we already measured before and it was 12. So I'm making a band of 12. Just do it like you're doing a belt of 12. Same thing for the other one. Okay, so forgive the chalk marks. Oop, I'm shaking it. You're going to measure. You're going to measure around. No, it's like the fan is shaking this time. we have 12, and then I'm also going to measure from here to where the inner corner stops, and that's 5. That's where this inner corner stops. So I'm working with interfacing first. This is cloth gum, but it's preferable that you use gum stay or a lightweight collar gum. I'm using bias cuts to create the initial pattern. I need to get at least 14. I'm adding 1 inch to each side. I'll show you why when I start attaching it. Okay, so now we have this pattern. Okay, just so. This is what we have. I don't know how it happened, but we're having a shortage of about 1 inch instead of the 14 we had. I'm seeing 13 here. We'll rectify that later. So we measured 5 on the smaller side, right? So that's 5 on the smaller side, and then I'm going to add half an inch because what we have right now is 13 instead of 12. So I'm going to add half to the inner corner and half to the outer corner. Let me notch it. Now this inner corner is the reason why this is just a pattern and not what we'll use. This inner corner, I'm going to make it up to 14 now when I add half to this side, but I want us to use this to create our pattern first, so we need to mark it out. And then I'm going to mark where the inner corner is starting. So this is the inner corner, this is the outer corner. So for this inner corner now, the reason why we are doing it again is because I am going to raise it higher. I will show you on the corset part itself. But I'm going to take this up. I'm going to slant it even higher by about 2 inches. So we are coming this way now, but we have to make sure that we have the same 6 there. So I've added 2 inches up here, and that is where our new curve is going to be. Continue this line up, we'll see where this should stop, and then I'm doing like this. So the inner corner part is going to come up higher. I'm not going to be cutting it like this anymore. I'm going to be cutting it like this. Now I have to make sure that what we have here is 6, because we're adding 1 inch extra, which I'll show you what I'm doing with that 1 inch when I'm attaching it. This is where we should be. I'm going to cut now. I hope the chalk is clear enough. I'm going to cut now. So I'm not working with this anymore. For the inner corner, I'm going up like this. I'm going to do just one side so you can see how it will look. notch. I'm going to use this to create a second one. That's the one that's inside. When I start creating it, I'm going to cut it shorter. So I'm cutting another one with this again. Okay, so this is it. I'm making it that. And then I'm notching. And I'm marking the inner corner. This is the inner corner. So because this is going to be inside, I'm going to make it, are you saying it has to be a little shorter? So I'm going to take 1/2 inch off here and 1/2 inch off here. So this is the shorter one. This is what's going to be inside, and this was going to be on top. Now when creating yours, you're definitely going to use gum stay to make it stiff, and then you're cutting 2 of the satin like it's used in the picture and turning it just like you turn a belt, but leave these corners open, leave these edges open. Let me set this one first. And then this is going to come after. But you can already see it forming. Can you see? Okay, I've checked it and we are on track. So all you need to do now is arrange this. That's what's left. So I think at the end of the day, we didn't really need that extra. Can you see it? We didn't really need it at the end of the day. So this extends over so that it can cover the seam line. We didn't really need it. We only needed it here. Play the row here, and then so let me pin it down. So basically you arrange it to look like what's in the picture. The main point I want you to get from this is that you should not use a straight line, because if you use a straight line, it's not going to look like what's in the picture. It's going to sag in a very ugly way. And then, like I said, you're creating like a belt. You leave here open because this is going to enter when you turn your lining under. So you're making like a belt, and then you can go inside and tack this down. Are you saying tack it down from inside? Just neatly tack it from inside so that it doesn't move. You can do the same with the inner one. If it's moving, go inside there and tack it down. Okay, so I'm going to put it on my body and show you how it will look like. But before I do that, I also want to talk about this place. If you look closely at the picture, you will see that this part extending to the back did not go like this, because if it went like this, you will have this line coming down this way. It didn't. It seems to me like the back line, I think I'll do a sketch to show you, the back part of the waist is not a V, it's straight. What they did now was to take this and run it into the dart line, or just beside the dart line. That's why they are all standing like this. If you look closely, you'll see it. I'm going to do a sketch to show you what I mean, but let me just explain it first. So it's not going like this at the back, it's going straight. So you are going to just sew it to the skirt part of the dress at the back. And that's about it. Okay, so I said I was going to explain why I curved the inner corner higher. When we cut this, you will notice that the curve of the outer corner and the inner corner are not the same. They are asymmetrical. So this inner one, if you notice, has a sharper curve going up, and this one has a lighter curve going out. So if you use the same, if you just cut to that bias cut and place it, you're going to have a very annoying extra hanging out here. It won't relax as much as this. So that was why I carried this side higher, so that it can relax when you put it and look like this.